How many? Okay. Of course, she said no. She had pride, and if the king hadn't been drinking too much wine, this isn't against drinking, I'm just telling you it's the story, he probably would have realized it was an affront not just to her, but to him and to his kingdom, because that's his queen. So she refused to go, and she was banished. That's the beginning of the story. So isn't that great to know that information? It doesn't just pop out at you. You got to read this stuff and know what's going on. So this book of Esther to me is very special and has some challenging thoughts for all of us in our lives today. The challenge Esther received is found in the text that you just heard us read and supports this message of my contention today. It may well be the challenge that the Savior has something like this for you today. This is not just for the congregate church here. This is for you individually. So, why are you positioned where you are today? Wherever you are. Why do you work where you work? My life has been a series of transitions. I'm transitioning again. I feel rejuvenated. I'm teaching these students and these minds that are learning. They're hearing things. And so I get to teach them. And why do you live where you live? I came to the St. Louis area because of a job in a university 30-something years ago. That's why I came here. And why do you go to school where you do? Why have you chosen that? Well, some of it's because my family lives in this school district. Other part is, well, because I searched out schools and I think St. Louis has some good ones. So here's one for you today, folks. Why do you go to church here at the Taiwanese Presbyterian Church? Why do you choose to come here? What's the purpose of this church for you? So why are you here today? Okay, well, it's Sunday, I'm going to church, might as well go somewhere. No, that's no reason. You're here, and this church is here for a purpose. And folks, you have a year where you better think about what that purpose is. Right now, that doesn't mean that you stop. Okay, let's think about what we're going. You have 40 new young people in this city that need to hear from you. You need to be engaged with them. It's time for it. This isn't a time to sit back and say, well, let's wait for the pastor. This is a time for you to determine what your purpose is. Do you feel the intensity of that? Well, I hope so. I want my life to have a new purpose. I'm not too old. I'm looking at these young people. I'm not too old. I still got something. I want to give it. You need to feel the same way. This is just like you're born again. You're a new church, new time, and it's all good. Everything's good. You just have to say what that is. And you aren't going to get it from me. I'm not smart enough. You have to get it from you and the Lord working out something here to decide what this church is about. So, you do what you do because God has given you opportunities. I came here because, again, I keep telling you, I've been over here 15 years. I've been coming to this church 15 years or more. God gave me that opportunity because I had friendship with Reverend Chi. I had friendship. Came over to the school where I was working at. We had a bunch of Taiwanese students at that time, 24, 25, which is pretty good for a small school. And he said, hey, why don't you come preach for us sometime? I said, well, okay. And that was over 15 years ago. And we've been here ever since. Every now and then, we find ourselves at a moment in time that might be called a pivot point in history. This is one of those times here. In sports, we call it time for a big play. The time when the game's on the line. In the military, it's called a D-Day, the battle that will win or lose the war. In business, it's that sale that will put you over the top and into the positive for the next fiscal year. So, why are you here at this moment of time? Some I've grown up with are no longer here. Those I went to school with, some have gone on to glory. Relative, much younger than I, have passed on. You all know I missed Sunday that I was supposed to come preach some weeks back. I had a cousin. She was a part of a singing group, women's singing group that went about Texas, ministry singing group. And she was going to pick up her husband and fell asleep at the wheel. And she didn't survive the accident. Unexpected. We lose people at unexpected times. So here we are. We have a new day, folks. This is a new expectation today. So when I think about that life that's no longer here, I think about my life that is here. Okay, why? Because I think there's purpose for you and I. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that glorious? So, we're here, we're at our time, we're at our nation, and we're at our point of living. So what has God equipped us to do for this season? You've been equipped. You've been trained for years. Great pastoral leadership. And now you are going to be a part of being equipped and doing something with that equipping. In this text this morning, we get a glimpse as to the turning point in this famous person's life, Esther. The challenge Esther received is again found in 4:14. I'll read it. Who knows but that you have come to your position in life for such a time as this? You hear me keep saying that? You're where you are today for such a time as this. To build His kingdom, to help His people, to fulfill His purposes. Can I tell you this morning, just in case you don't realize this, God created you for a divine appointment. You're divinely created. I believe that. Look at you. You just look so holy sitting out there. Look at you. All of you. You're good people. Not perfect. No, I'm not going to give you that. No, that's not it. But you are good people. Why? God created you for a purpose.